Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this drawing tutorial, we are going to be learning how to draw a very cute and romantic hair bun. So you're going to want to start with your pencil. I'm using the Prismacolor Col-Erase in the light blue color. I think it works really nice because the colors are super soft compared to the regular lead pencil. So take your pencil and start to sketch the general reference of the head, or like the head shape. For this tutorial, I am doing sort of a back view of the human head. So you want to start off with a very large circle, and then you want to extend with the jaw downwards and sort of make like a V shape. I'm not very good in kind of teaching how to explain how to draw a human head because I am still learning myself. If you guys need any more help, basically there are all kinds of tutorials out there teaching you how to draw the perspective of the head, but in this video you can basically sort of see my approach to it. And for this tutorial, I don't spend a lot of time drawing the head. It was more so just to get the shape right as a reference to start with the hair. Now I started with the hair from the base of her skull, and you can see that I kind of start to draw the strands in an upward motion, very fluid, curving. You can also start to draw sort of the general shape of the flowers. I'm just using kind of like hexagon shapes right now, just drawing the outline of the flowers at the crown of her head, so where the sort of like the back of her hair meets the top of the bun is where you want to put the flowers. And just for a little bit of advice for you guys, you don't want to go into full detail right away. You just want to sort of sketch the general outline of how it will look like. So don't go crazy on the flower petals, don't go crazy on the hair strands, because a lot of the detail will come later on with the actual pencil crayon. So for the top of her hair, the actual bun, you want to create large sections of hair. This will be sort of like the basis of the actual bun. You would then want to loop out, so you want to create like hair strands that loop outwards to sort of create more dimension to the actual bun. So because this hair bun is meant to be sort of like a messy, romantic sort of style, you can have fun with the flyaways. So create many like hair loops and flyaways. You can really go crazy with this hair bun because it's not meant to be perfect. So just have fun with it. Once you've drawn the basic outline sketch, you want to take your black fine liner. So I'm using the Faber Castell PITT Artist Pen in the XS size, the extra small size. It's a super thin fine liner, and you just basically go ahead and start to outline the basic shape of the face and the neck. For the outline, you want to keep a steady hand. I know it's super hard because it takes practice to really keep your hand steady, but you want to have really straight and fluid lines rather than have like shaky kind of like pixelated look. I don't know, this just comes with practice though, but you want to try your best to really keep a steady hand for the outline job. Now for the hair, I've also outlined parts of the hair. Again, a lot of the details will come later on with the pencil crayon, but for the hair, you can really kind of have fun with it. When you look at hair, it's not generally in a straight line. It has kind of curves to it and it has motion, so you want to kind of have, you know, play around with the actual outlining job. You can do kind of curvy hair, you can do wavy hair. So yeah, it's really up to you how you want to do it. But again, just try to keep a steady hand when you're outlining. For the flowers, I didn't really put much effort into it. They're supposed to sort of like be roses, but I just kind of did squiggly lines. I mean, this is kind of like interpretive drawing at this point. It's not realistic. A lot of the realism will come in the actual hair work. So yeah, so it's up to you how you want to do the flowers, but for myself, I just focused on sort of like starting to draw from the inside and spread the petals on the outside. It's something that I often do for my flowers. I always start from the middle of the flower and I kind of do like the petals, like I work with the petals from the inside and then I gradually expand the petals on the outside afterwards. So once you're done with the actual outline, you want to take your eraser and erase all of the original reference lines. So you want to make sure that all of it is erased, because if you're drawing on top, you just won't be able to erase your reference lines anymore. So to start off the coloring, I actually started off with her face and I used my Touch Twin Tip marker. The color that I used is the Baby Skin Pink, and it actually turned out a lot darker than I expected. It was a little bit of an orange hue to it. It wasn't the look that I was going for. I wanted her to have really sort of clear ivory skin, very soft, more so on the pink side, to match the hair color. But yeah, it didn't turn out so bad in the end because I just kind of added more layers, like added more shadow with the darker tones of the skin afterwards. So once you've applied your first layer of color, you want to go over top of the same layer using the same color in the shadow, like the dark areas of the face. So for in this case, the dark areas are behind her jaw, like underneath her jaw, a little bit on the ear. You want to kind of define the cheekbone a little bit and the back of the neck. And when you're adding more shadows with the markers, you want to use blending techniques. So for this, you can either use a colorless blender marker or just use regular blending techniques. I'm still learning these techniques, so I can't really give you guys advice on this, but there are a lot of great resources out there on YouTube who can actually show you how to blend. At this point, I took my black fine liner and I added more of a thicker black line in some of the certain areas that I wanted the shadows to be kind of emphasized. Again, I'm using a reference photo from like a model, so I'm really following the way that the shadows are shown in the reference photo, and this is perfectly fine to do so, and actually I recommend that you guys do it as beginners. And then I take my pencil crayon, which is the Faber Castell light flesh color, and I further emphasize some of the shadows and I just kind of bring it together with the marker. Once I'm satisfied with the blending that I've accomplished with the pencil crayon and the marker, I further define the shadows with an even darker touch twin tip marker. The color that I use for this one is Barely Beige. So something that I actually like to do afterwards is take my white pencil crayon and further define the highlights of the face. So we've drawn the shadows and now we want to draw the highlights. And mostly this will be in sort of like the muscles of her neck, a little bit on the cheekbones and the forehead. Now we get to the very fun part, drawing the hair. So I am starting with my Copic Ciao marker. I'm using the color Soft Sun. And I start with the general top of the hair, like the bun area. I start from the outside and I basically draw towards the inside. And this is sort of like a technique that I've picked up with the hair. So usually I start from one end of the hair or the other end. So like both ends and I meet in the middle. Then what I do is I take my pencil crayon. So this is the Faber Castell Polychromos pencil crayons. It's sort of like a golden brown, and I start to draw the individual hair strands. So again, working from the outside and making my way to the inside of the hair. And you want to kind of give the illusion of highlights. So hair is tends to be shiny. So this is sort of like the trick. I then take the Soft Sun marker again and I further accentuate the shadows. These shadows are going to be mostly on the very outside of the hair. And for the rest of the hair, I basically do the same technique over and over again. I create hair strands using the pencil crayon, and I do that sort of technique that I explained from working from the outside and making my way into the center of the actual section. This will create all of the highlights you need, and then I further accentuate the shadows by adding more layers of the either the marker or the pencil crayon. And at this point of the drawing, I've introduced a really dark brown into the mix. And this is basically just for the tips and the sort of like the deep-seated shadows of the hair. And you kind of want to go with the movement of the curls and the movement of the, like the flow of the hair at this point. But this is just to further accentuate the shadows. So for this particular drawing, you want to focus on adding shadows more so to the back of the head because the light source is coming from the very front of her face, I guess you can say. But yeah, so basically just take your dark pencil crayon and start to add really thick sort of strands of dark hair at the back of her head. This is just to kind of give the illusion that there's a very strong shadow at the back. Here you can mix the pencil crayon with the dark pencil crayon and the sort of golden brown at the same time. And as you gradually make your way from the base of the neck to the top of her head, you want to kind of create the illusion of a gradient. So work from dark brown up to sort of like a mixture between golden and dark brown, and then at the top of her head it's going to be mostly that golden color that we're looking for. I used the color Sepia from the Copic Ciao markers to further accentuate the dark shadows behind her head. This just added sort of like an auburn color to her blonde hair. And I did this mostly at the back of the head where the shadows are and a little bit near like the center of her head as well. For the flowers, I started to use a light pink color. Um, for Copic Ciao, it's called the pale pink, and I just put the initial color down, and that was it. It was just one layer of color for the flowers. For the final touches, I went back with my Faber Castell PITT Artist Pen multi-liner, which is a size S, the small, and I just kind of redid some of the line work within the hair and the face to kind of further accentuate the shadows even more. And last but not least, I added a hairband with a fancy dandy metallic brush marker from docrafts Paper Mania. And I thought it added just kind of like a touch of shimmer and a touch of, yeah, I don't know, I really liked it. It's cute, it's a beautiful color. It's kind of like a gray purplish color or gray pink color, and it looked really nice. I added dabs of it in the centers of the flowers as well, so the actual drawing has sort of like a shimmery effect in her hair, kind of like a shimmery hairband. Thank you guys so much for watching and all of your amazing support that you have given me so far. If you guys have learned something, please let me know in the comments below. If you guys have any other hair tutorials you want me to tackle, let me know also in the comments below. I would also like just to take a time to kind of do a notable shout out, sort of a mention to these amazing Instagram artists that have been drawing me fan art and sending it to my account at Brushes and Bunnies. I am so honored and I am so incredibly proud of you guys. I'm like so excited I had to show it off, and I think it's something that I will do more often in my videos. I will be kind of giving out a shout out to these amazing Instagram artists. So if you guys have any fan art you want to send me, please do so on my Instagram account, follow me, and tag me in your art, and I would love to mention it in my videos. And I firmly believe just in the fact of like promoting other artists, especially young artists. I really would like to, you know, kind of give shout outs out there because you guys are awesome and I'm super proud of the work that you guys do, and I'm really thankful that you consider me someone that you could like look up to in a way. So this really makes me very happy. Yeah, so I'd like to thank you guys again. Please like the video, comment below if you want me to try other hairstyles, and of course if you're new, welcome, and do subscribe because we are going to be doing a lot of giveaways and a lot of video tutorials. So thank you guys and have a very nice day.